Hello there, Fleagle Floggle here, and today I'm going to be reviewing, once again, another album review, and here I have a guy called Nick Drake, and this is his debut album called 5 Leaves Left. Nick Drake wasn't too successful in his life, only selling about 5,000 copies for the 3 albums he made, and soon enough out of depression he had a premature death of a drug overdose, which is an absolute shame. Not being so popular, but soon enough being popular in around the 1970s. So let's just review the first album. It's called 5 Leaves Left. This album came out in 1st of September and 1969, I believe, and is a really good album, I personally think, but you'll probably be seeing that in the review. Let's just get on straight with it with the song Time Has Told Me. This is what I believe mostly a folky song. Now the whole album really is about a folky kind of song, but I believe this is probably the most folkish kind of song. In its sort of simplicity, it's got piano and guitar, and the guitars don't really do much, but it's all still pretty nice. It's quite drawn out, and I actually find it quite a easy, happier tune. Everything on it's, like I say, simplistic with its simple chords. It's well guitar driven, but I think probably the most notable thing, instruments wise, is the Hawaiian guitar, which I do think is a pretty damn nice feature. And overall, I quite like the lyrics, and he's got a nice, quite peaceful tune to it, and that's it. I'll give it about an 8.6 out of 10. The man is a sudden step in the sad department. It includes pretty damn heart-wrenching violins and cellos later in the song, and I think it plays well it plays with his vocals, and I think it's depressing in its lyrics as well. It's all about a girl called Betty who feels enduring pain in her life, and I very much doubt it's true, but I personally believe that this person could reflect on Drake's life, which is also pretty damn bad. I'm not too sure what the River Man actually is. It could be like some sort of omen or something, and I find it just pretty damn sad overall, but it's still really powerful, and I think it's got really poetic, great lyrics, and I give it a 9.5 out of 10. The next song is probably my favourite song of all time by Nick Drake, that is. It's called 3 Hours, and this sort of reminds me in a Mexican kind of way, because it's that kind of guitar vibe and has very developing riffs and guitars, sort of like loads of overlays, and has a really cool kind of bass, and I think the bongos is a really cool kind of thing, and so far is actually actual beat, which I haven't actually got so far on the actual album. Quite apocalyptically poetic rise, with it's telling the story of finding a reason in life. I think it's got amazing vocals in it, and feeling of a real dread about what life is all about. Notable lyrics is 3 hours from sundown, Jeremy flies, home to keep the sun from his eyes. I think those are pretty cool lyrics, and overall it's pretty cool. It might be seen as bad drawn out wise because it's about 6.5 minutes. Still think it's excellent and my favourite by him, and I give it about a 9.8 out of 10. Way Too Blue is the 4th song, and I'm not too sure what to think of this song. Maybe Way Too Blue, blue is heaven, but also blue is known as depressing, so it could be heaven depressing, or no one really, I don't think no one's really sure of the meanings. I mean, as of him not really being too popular when he was alive, no one could really ask what it meant. I think the chorus-like thing is a highlight, and it has stupendous vocals in it. It's another kind of chill-out song as well, even though it is a bit depressing. And I think, as a bad thing, I think the strings aren't really doing much. I think they're a tad boring and sort of just filling out the song. But I still think that the lyrics are really great, and I'd give it about an 8.8 out of 10. Days Done is the 5th song, and I sort of feel like this could have been a single in a way that it's the shortest song, and it's probably the most simplistic song. Has a rhythmic like string arrangement which fit in that sort of sense really. The guitar sticks in a sort of B or a B minor, so in that way, since it's sticking in that the whole way through, it's kind of a bit dreary. but I still think it's about an 8 out of 10. Cello Song is the next song, and it is once again up there with one of my favourite Drake songs. I think it's actually really happy, which you don't really get. You sort of get it with Brighter Later's Hazy Jane 2, but I'm not too sure. Anyways, I think that's got really good complex guitar overlays, and it has a pretty catchy sort of look in the bongos, and obviously Cello Song. It has a cello, and the cello is great in this. And Drake's vocals, although shine in many of his songs, shine out just that little bit more here. And I think he just has one of the best vocal deliveries I've heard ever. I like how he hums away with the cello, and it just has a really carefree sort of attitude to it. The only thing I sort of don't like about it, it sort of turns slightly dark in a way. I suppose that's sort of with the bass, but even then, I'd give it a 9.8 out of 10. For to Mary Jane is the next song. I think it's got a really good flute, and it's charming. And I think the sort of a thing that I don't really like is it's got romantic lyrics, and I'm not really too bothered about that because it's. I'll tell you what I really think of it. It feels a lot like a Disney song, and I just think like that with the strings and the way he plays it, and the lyrics are a bit soppy, like the way she sings in her brightly coloured rings make her the princess of the sky. It's just I don't know. They're okay, and it drags on a bit for me at the end as well, but I think it's sweet, but it's not one of my track picks on it, but I'd give it about 7.9 out of 10. Man in a Shed is another sort of romantic attempt. It's a simple, plastic love song about a man in a shed, and he tries and finds a woman, and later you find out that this man is Nick Drake, and this woman is you, he says, but I don't think it's me. I'm not a woman. That's a crap joke. This sort of lovey-dovey stuff that I just don't really like about it. But what I think it is pretty funny about, well, it's not funny, that would be dark saying, but he doesn't actually get this woman at the end of the song, and I think that's good, and it's not just trying saying it's a happy ever after sort of thing. I think it's interesting sort of turn, but I give it about a 7.5 out of 10 maybe. Fruit Tree is noted as one of the best lyrics ever made, and I agree with that, but I sort of feel that he's looking into the Bob Dylan sort of sense, because it's got quite a repetitive guitar, but great vocals as usual, and like I agree, it's excellent lyrics, but just nothing really standing out for me in the instruments kind of thing, but never mind, I give it about an 8.3 out of 10. Saturday's Sun is the last song, and I think this is a turn for jazz, and it's very jazz-like. And I think another thing that's good is that it's got actual drums to it. It's laid back, but what I don't particularly like is that it's library kind of music. I'm now playing a thing called the Novel Tones. This is the band, and you'll probably hear this. It's called Left Bank 2, and I honestly just get a sort of vibe for it. This library kind of music just feels like not very interesting, to be honest, but overall, I think that what I feel for this album is that it's perfect for a barbecue or maybe an evening walk, and this sort of sums it up in that sort of sense. It's definitely not what I believe is one of the best kind of things to listen to, or Saturday's Sun being the best closing to an album, but it sort of has an epilogue kind of thing, and it has good wistful kind of lyrics, but I'd still only give it about 7.4 out of 10, but you know, it's still not bad. Overall, if I had to calculate the scores I've given, it's around an 8.3 out of 10, but that's still very good really. Highlights are 3 Hours, Riverman and Cello Song, and they're not so as Man in a Shed and Saturday's Sun, and overall, I really recommend it. I'm not too sure if I'll review Brighter Later or Pink Moon, but we'll see. There's only 2 albums to review, so I might do it just to finish off the discography. But that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day or evening or whenever the hell you're watching this. And see you later. Bye bye.